Hey, are you bullish enough when it comes to Bitcoin? What price do you think Bitcoin can reach in this cycle? I think some of you could be shocked by what we're about to talk about in the following video. I've extracted one tweet, one single tweet that really caught me off guard this week, really made me stop and stare for a little bit at the math when it comes to supply and demand in the Bitcoin economy. You gotta see this. Check this out. It's so much fun. Even if it's 50% correct, it's going to change the world, and it's going to create one of the largest transfers of wealth in history. And that's just Bitcoin, not even counting all the other crazy crypto stuff that we're able to create passive income and supplementary wealth with. If you liked the following video, please subscribe, like the video, comment below. Let me know where you're from, what you're doing, and what you think Bitcoin can do this cycle after you watch this video. And if you're really interested and you want to entertain more passive income strategies, go watch my case study at cryptoyall.co, where we unpack some awesome get paid daily strategies with crypto investing. See you there. So when you see things like this on the internet, it's really hard. You have to have a strong mindset, and you got to understand that there's this thing called hopium that people love to consume, especially when it comes to crypto investing. However, I'm an optimist. I'm a crypto bull, and I believe that price goes up, and it has over time. And so, man, this is a timely Twitter post. You can pause to read if you want to. I gotta say, and shout out to the author here, Rip Van Winkle, or at Daniel Arapol. Incredible insight. You know, assuming even if he's 50% correct, we're on the cusp of one of the craziest experiences in Bitcoin and crypto as a whole than we've ever experienced before. So I'm just going to kind of read through this, but also provide some commentary and just kind of think out loud. If you're not bullish about Bitcoin after reading this or crypto, I don't know. I just don't know what to tell you. So anyway, I'm gonna jump right in. He said, "Okay, I've been doing some math. So, and my mind is officially blown. I don't think any of us are bullish enough." So he's talking about Monday, this past Monday. At the time of this recording, this past Monday was like October 22nd. I think the date specifically October 22nd, 2023. He says that the $3,000 candle, green candle, that Bitcoin's price obviously went up. Was a sign of what's to come. Several sources of demand converged onto Bitcoin in a short window of time and caused the price to break out to its highest level in 15 months. The known sources of the estimated demand are daily buying pressure of 25 million per day, who soak up the daily issuance of new coins hitting the market. Now, daily issuance is like miners when they are validating and fortifying the Bitcoin network, doing the math problems basically that are required for the transactions. They get rewarded Bitcoin, and so that issuance is new Bitcoin supply coming onto the market. Right? We have 21 million total Bitcoin, 19 million ish have been mined, about 5 or 6 million are lost permanently that we know of, and so every time supply and demand, when new Bitcoin is issued, technically it's an inflationary measure. However, ultimately it's deflationary because the supply is locked. But in the short term, 25 million per day of spot buying plus market makers, that is the big guys, the derivatives market, all that stuff, they were shorting Bitcoin. So they had to go in and buy a bunch of Bitcoin. There was up to $250 million in liquidated shorts that they were having to kind of try to rescue because they were obviously trading on margin. Then you have $43 million in demand from BlackRock, Fidelity, and all of the other hedge funds that have the SEC's application in for a spot Bitcoin ETF, which is really the big headline here. And then he says altogether, it's about $325 million of demand, which pushed the price up $3,000 in a day. So the market cap of Bitcoin increased $63 billion from a few hundred million invested. So here's the kicker. This is the main thing. The multiplier on that is 193x. That means that the Bitcoin market cap increases by $193 for every dollar invested in the coin. I've heard people talking about this multiplier effect, but it doesn't hit home until you run the numbers yourself. And then he gives a shout out to a few people, some Bitcoin maxis, I think, that have helped to do the math. Now for the fun part. BlackRock estimates that $200 billion will flow into Bitcoin from BlackRock iShares ETF. That's one of the ETFs, and others in the first 3 years. That amount of demand, if spread evenly over 3 years, would come out to $183 million per day, excluding all other sources of demand. Multiply $183 million by 193, and the Bitcoin market cap grows by $35 billion per day. Now, again, up here, we had a $63 billion day. Yes, $63 billion day last Monday. So now he's talking about every day. So that was an anomaly day. And he's saying now we're going to have $35 billion days. That's going to be the new normal. He says in terms of price, that would be about $1,700 of price appreciation per Bitcoin per day. After 3 years, the Bitcoin price would be $2 million from the spot ETF demand alone. He said the really mind-boggling part is that I excluded everything else that would also be bullish for Bitcoin. Daily buying pressure could be far greater than what will come from ETFs. He's just talking about the global buying pressure, not just ETFs, but like retail investors. I haven't accounted for the halving, nor the demand from sources other than ETFs, nor the next nation states to adopt Bitcoin, nor the FOMO from retail investors, nor the next class of Bitcoiners from all walks of life. Bitcoiners are known to be bullish, but most of us are nowhere near bullish enough. That is crazy. So I like to go into the comments when you find a post like this on X, because there's a lot of, in particular on this post, there's a lot of like devil's advocacy or also reinforcements. So he says, if this happens, Dr. Hader here, if this happens, the FOMO will be like nothing we've ever seen before in the history of the world. The author says, no one is ready. In fact, there is no way to be ready except to be locked and loaded with your coins safely tucked away in cold storage. So he's advocating for a hardware storage wallet, offline, off exchange, not your keys, not your crypto. Have your Bitcoin and all your crypto in a safe, non-custodial wallet. This next guy, how do we know the ETF won't issue paper Bitcoin and suppress the price? Great point here, because the firms are not unregulated degen crypto scams like SBF and FTX, basically, who's ironically on trial as I record this video. They are heavily regulated entities with many layers of compliance that they must adhere to. They are only interested in collecting fees from the shares of the ETF they sell, which will be 100% backed by Bitcoin. They have to seed the funds and hold Bitcoin whenever you buy Bitcoin shares of the iShares or the ETF that the particular hedge fund is sponsoring. They have to own those. So that's the buy pressure that they have to create. And I'll end with these two comments. Kiwi Crypto Nan says 200 billion over 3 years is BS. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 200 billion ready to go now. This is just BlackRock. They may be the biggest, but they're not the only ETF. Once there's an ETF product for regular retirement accounts, a $37 trillion market cap, she says, kapow, a 4x the size of BlackRock. And he says, right on, if the firms that have filed for spot ETFs hold 17 trillion and 5% of that flows into Bitcoin, that's 850 billion right there. How much would you say flows into Bitcoin over the next 5 years? And then there's this last comment that I'll share. You're assuming all holders will not sell any corn. After the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin issuance will be approximately 492.75 Bitcoin in 3 years. If somehow holders dump half of the current Bitcoin supply, which is around 10 million, the price is still around 100,000. Unbelievable. And then, of course, he says, we know that most of us ain't selling. He's referring to the statistics of how long-term Bitcoin holders they don't sell because they have conviction in what they're investing in.